course, we know with Khan they love running Clockwork, but that was already banned out in the first phase, so instead they do go for the Grimstroke pick. And this has been another one of those very popular supports in this current meta. Even if you don't have anything to work with the Soulbind on your team, it just doesn't seem to matter. This hero is just so effective in stopping pushes. The Soulbind is still very, very frustrating to deal with anyway, because you're just stuck with somebody else. And it all seems to pan out. And this time around, it's not like they don't have synergy. You do have a Rubik, so you get the double lift. Of course, any ability that Rubik steals could be used in that Soulbind as well. This Rubik will probably be trying to steal Impale anyway, which doesn't work with Soulbind, but that doesn't really matter. Impale is just too good of an ability not to take. It's aggressive mode. Third pickup for them. Again, reserve time going to be used up. They haven't really revealed much yet, but they do go for the Juggernaut pick. Another one of those positional ones that has come back into popularity. It has its moments, right? We've been seeing that Mask of Madness build coming out on the Jug, which has been quite effective. There are multiple builds you can go for on the Jug. You can still go for the Maelstrom into the Mjolnir. You can also go for Battle Fury if you really want to try and force it to the late game. Guess we'll have to wait and see what aggressive mode intend to do with this Jug. But the Jug is a pretty darn good pick here, right? Like, there's nothing that goes through the spin. So you can always just spin TP out if required. And there's no real way to avoid the Omni Slash on any of these heroes from Khan. Of course, if Khan really wanted to, they could just run a mid Pugna, which could be rather effective up against this Juggernaut, and perhaps they will. I do believe Arrow plays a very mean Pugna. I think we've seen it quite a few times now, and he has performed very, very well. They don't have much time to think about it, though. Only 10 seconds reserve time left. And for now, they go for a Wraith King, and that's one hero that can deal with the Omni Slash. Sure, you die once, you have Reincarnate, you come back up, and then you deal with the Juggernaut. Just nothing he can really do about it. That may force aggressive mode, though, to go for a Diffusal build on this Jug, if they really want to try and shut down this Wraith King. Though it may be a little bit too late. Like, by the time you hit the late game, he gets the no mana Reincarnation talent, and then that Diffusal doesn't really matter anymore. But aggressive mode, they will respond with the Darkseer. So instead of really trying to, deal with the Wraith King with this Jug, you have a Darkseer now who can just dominate the lane with Iron Shell spam. The Wraith King probably will have a little bit of a rough time. Of course, finding getting the Vac wall on the Wraith King can be very nice as well, because his illusions do tend to hit pretty hard. They still do crit. And if Khan want to try and go for like that meme build that we did actually see come out from OGC during the summit, they want to go the Aghanim Scepter Divine build. That could be done, but it could be used against you by this Darkseer, so you do have to be very careful about that. And in case you aren't aware about that memey Wraith King build, what you do is you get an Aghanim Scepter, which allows you to have a Ghost after you die. You get a Divine Rapier and a BKB. As soon as you die, your Ghost comes up, you BKB, TP out, and then your Divine will essentially just drop in your fountain instead of being given the way of the other team. So it's a rather effective strategy, even though it is a bit of a meme. But aggressive mode, they will finish their draft off. They do go for the Oracle pickup. Khan. 1 pickup left. 2 seconds reserve time. Do they want to go for that mid Pugna? I think it would actually be a very nice pick. Oh, hold on a minute. They go for the Slaughter. Okay, so that's a... Is that a mid Slaughter? No, it's not. It's a mid Mars. Okay. So Arrow's going to be on that Mars. Off lane Slaughter, safe lane Wraith King. You don't really mind the Slaughter too much. They don't really have a way of dealing with the Bash of the Deeps. Because up against Oracle, you want to try and just get more physical damage if you can. So he can block a lot of magic damage out with the Fate's Edict. Problem with that Fate's Edict as well, though, is it does disarm, so it can still be very effective up against heroes like the Wraith King and the Slardar. But perhaps the idea here is to just have as many heroes as possible that can jump on Spartan, get rid of the Oracle before a team fight even starts, and then the team fights generally become pretty darn simple. Not to mention the Slardar does tend to do very well up against the Jug. He doesn't care for the spin, he can still bash through it, and it does make it so the Jug has to be a little bit careful how he goes about the spin TP. I've got to say, I do like both drafts. If I was leaning to one, I'd still say I like Khan's a little bit more, but it's all going to be about execution from either side. An aggressive mode's draft can be extremely dangerous if they do execute perfectly. Like, you can't really ever underestimate the vac into the impale of Desire. Of course, Thug can just follow up with a huge Omni Slash if that did come about. But it's a lot easier said than done to actually execute that combo. It's not that easy. And we'll get into it. Game number 1 of this best of 3 lower bracket final between Khan and aggressive mode. Both teams appear to be in good spirits as they do start tipping Naive. In fact, all of them tipping Naive, maybe just trying to send him a message, but we are actually going to have a pause from Naive now. So he does get the last laugh in the end. Mental abusement. Poor Naive. So in case you weren't aware, just a bit of a backstory. Khan was actually in the upper bracket finals the other day, up against Chicken Fighters. They did get 2-0'd against Chicken Fighters, so they had to make their way down to the lower bracket finals. And of course, aggressive mode, they had to fight their way all the way through the lower bracket playoffs. Straight from round 1. They've made it all the way here. Can they keep it up one more time? I do believe both these teams have met previously, and I believe it was Khan who came out on top. I'm sure they've got a game plan for this series. It's Naive. Gonna spot out Skylark, but he left alone. Puba, meanwhile, trying to go after a Bounty Rune Sniper. Doesn't quite get it. Desire does grab it in time. Even Mitch showing up on the Rubik. We'll back off. The mid-Mars should be pretty interesting as well. The Void Spirit, obviously another melee core, does tend to struggle a little bit up against heroes like Mars, especially if he does opt to go for the early point in God's Rebuke. He does actually go for the skill point in Spear. That still does work though. You can grief your enemy by just spearing them away or securing CS like that. So it should be a pretty hard lane for Sunlight this time. Because he can always get that shield out, but Mars can generally get through it pretty darn quick with that God's Rebuke once he does have it up. Puma, he's going to be stuck trying to deal with Skylark on this Darkseer. In fact, he could be in trouble as Desire coming in and now the body blocks. This could be first blood. Double Iron Shell on this poor Grimstroke and the body box from Skylark. Just not letting him go past, and they give him the tip straight away. First blood at the minute mark of this game number 1. And poor Puba, he's going to have to deal with this all game. Or at least for the first 10 minutes. As the Darkseer should really just keep doing this over and over again. Zai, he's not going to leave him alone. Because we get to look at that mid matchup and Arrow. Currently, apparently, four times 100% win rate on the mid Mars. Sunlight, a 66.6% win rate on the Void Spirit in that mid lane. Puba looks like he's getting low again. I mean, all you can really do is Stroke of Fate, but you can't get close like that near Desire. Luckily for Puba, Desire doesn't have any mana to use, and looks like he doesn't really have any mangoes available. Sunlight now. Going to try and apply a bit more pressure onto Arrow, but he does have a double damage rune, so you do have to be very, very careful if you are the Void Spirit. Naive, actually going to loop around, throws out the Wraithfire Blast. Skylark, he's going to get quite low. Stroke of Fate, though, will not connect. Skylark did get an early point in Surge, so he does juke that out. But he's going to be forced to actually TP out towards his T1 tower again, so looks like he may just rotate to the jungle, or perhaps just get some regen off his courier before he returns down to that bot lane and continues creep skipping away. So Desire being caught out way too far. Naive wanting to chase him down, but doesn't have another stun yet. Instead, Skylark be fine. Puba didn't really come with much mana. But I've got to say, they aren't really doing the greatest job of shutting down this Wraith King. He's still farming extremely well. Looks like he hasn't even missed the last hit. So this creep skipping hasn't really panned out to great success quite yet. Arrow, we get caught by the Remnant. Sunlight just trying to harass out a bit. Arrow has actually struggled quite a bit mid lane. He's still managing to find the CS, but he's definitely going through a lot more regen than Sunlight is. So Arrow does pick up a bottle now, so at least he has that. Does he get lucky with the power rune? He does not. Puba is there at the bot rune spot with the regen rune. He doesn't want to give it over to Sunlight though. Nice Remnant does connect, but Puba has already taken the regen. The Sunlight at least cancels it off. Meanwhile though, top Spartan does go down to Yamich. And now they are going to chase down Thug on the jug. They won't get him. They do pick up their first kill of the game. I mean, I was just talking about the fact that the Wraith King was having a great time. It hasn't been the same story for Thug. He is somewhat behind, 14-1 on this jug, in comparison to the 28-5 of this Wraith King. So Naive is having a much better time. Desire, gonna loop around onto Puba. Impel does connect. Naive gonna try and help out. He does get the stun off on Skylark, but Puba is still very, very low and does eventually die to Desire. Meanwhile, Skylark barely getting away, but Naive, he still wants to go at it. Iron Shell is available on Divine, but he misses the impale, so Desire forced to just chase after Naive. Eventually does get stunned up, and Naive barely gets away with the salve straight after. Very close call for both heroes. Top lane, Spartan again. Gonna be chased down. Yamich won't bother chasing any longer. No real point if you don't have the lift available. They are still maintaining dominance up at that top lane anyway, so they won't really mind not finding this Oracle kill. Sunlight does actually get skewered. Arrow does not get lucky with the power rune again. It's going to be down at that bot lane. We do see, once again, Puba is sitting there waiting by the power rune, and it is going to be a double damage. Puba will just grab it himself. And poor Arrow just cannot get lucky. Skylark. Chase down, Inkswell gonna be there, Pew, but he still has that double damage active. Skylark, does he escape this? Not quite. Stroke of Fate comes in and Puba claims the kill, but now Desire gonna try and turn, but so much damage coming out of Naive. That'll be 2 kills for the price of 1. Khan definitely gonna be very happy about that as Sunlight getting speared a mile away by Arrow into his own T1. And Arrow, he's actually recovered very, very well in this mid lane. Actually, quite a bit of net worth ahead. 500 gold, in fact, ahead of this Void Spirit now. It's not the greatest of news for aggressive mode, who has lost that bot and mid lane. And arguably, of course, the top lane has also been won by Khan. I say arguably, but they have won top lane. It's close, but it was definitely won out by Khan. Spartan has to be careful, you Mitch. Keeping tabs on where this Oracle is, as Thug. Gonna be chased down a little bit. Sunlight has rotated on the Void Spirit. Make that 4 now, Desire. He comes up, but Arrow does spot him out. They are going to make the chase onto this Slider, but there is Arrow around, and he does have Arena. He drops it straight away, and he wants to go after the Nyx Assassin, though no, won't have mana, but he does get the spear off at least onto Sunlight. Meanwhile, Naive finds Skylark again down at the bot lane, and surprisingly enough, nobody dies up at this top lane. Everyone barely managing to just get away. But you're still happy about that if you can't, I think. There were 4 heroes up top from aggressive mode, and only 3 from Khan. And like I said, while that fight was happening, Naive just found a solo kill into the Dark Seer. And Naive looks like he's going to be very, very close to picking up that very early armlet. And once you have that armlet up, he's going to be a bit of a powerhouse. There's now the Slider apparently finding Spartan up at the top lane. That's going to make it a 5-3, but more importantly, there's going to be a 3k net worth lead for Khan. Aggressive mode, it's with this kind of draft, it can be very, very challenging to try and keep up once you have lost the lead. Not that the game's over or anything, we're only 9 minutes in, but it's just hard to play catch-up on a Jug, especially if you don't have something like a Battle Fury. Like, he only has Phase Boots Wand right now, so he's just going to have to work with that. Hope and pray he does get some nice neutral drops that he can use. In fact, it looks like he's just going to rotate down to the bot lane, where the farm is going to be a lot safer. Aggressive mode now. They've smoked up. They want to try and get aggressive. Naive going to be the target, and he actually hasn't skilled up Reincarnate, but he does get it now. He understands he probably is going to die once, or maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just walk out of there safely. At least they'll take the shrine. Khan, do they find the opposite shrine in time? They will not. So aggressive mode, they do deny that that 150 XP at the 10-minute mark. That's going to be one nice positive of this game so far for aggressive. Everything else has been rather negative, as Naive getting very low somewhere across the map, but we are looking at him. Desire. Can he get caught out now by the Slider, and Yomich is there though. Nice double impale, and now Remnant Sunlight. He's going to rotate to try and help out. Astral Step through both Yomich. He does get dropped, but the Slider still wants to try and go for this kill. But now you've got Spartan there to try and help out. And Sunlight should be able to pick up this kill. In fact, the Slider is fairly tanky. And maybe he won't. Stun comes out. And we're going to see another member of Khan just walk out. In fact, Arrow now coming in, but misses the spear onto Sunlight. The Slider falling low again. Remnant going to connect. They do clean up the kill with Spartan. Going to get fairly low from Arrow. There's 3 heroes up here now, though, from the side of aggressive. And they do get the impale off onto Arrow. He's going to have to make a run back. But these rotations coming out from aggressive do end up working out. Like Yamish now comes in. Oh, spear almost kills off Desire. But a 6-5, 3k net worth lead remaining for Khan. Spartan will get caught out. Impale, stolen from your Mitch. Stolen by your Mitch. They do claim a very easy kill. And this is where it gets a little bit scary, because you've got lift into Impale, so your Mitch can just set up the stun for himself. And it's a lot easier to use Impale with Rubik because he doesn't have a cast animation. And then the Slider can of course just follow up with his own stun, and that's a guaranteed death on somebody. So we'll keep tabs on your Mitch. See what he gets up to this game. But he's going to be a big, big problem for aggressive. And Naive going for a Shadow Blade now. It's been a while since I've seen Armlet Shadow Blade on Wraith King, but I suppose it works. Mitch get chased by Desire in that Vendetta. Arrow is going to be around Desire. He goes for it, but he didn't see the Mars there. And now the arena drops. Mitch, he's just going to wand up. Gets the Impale off, and that's Desire dead. Still, Sunlight will rotate, but Mitch, he steals the shield. He will survive throughout all this as they will lose Sunlight. They lose Spartan, and they're going to lose Skylark as well. 4 heroes going down for the price of nothing. And all they wanted was to support Rubik. But they won't even get that. And Khan, they'll start pressuring that tier 2 top tower. Aggressive mode just falling further and further behind as the game goes on. Naive could be caught. Fortune's End going to fly out from Spartan, but there'll be no follow-up to it. He had Reincarnate anyway, so he wouldn't have really minded either way. Mitch now, he has Surge. I mean, there's just so many good spells to steal this game. One of your better Rubik games that you're going to see. And Arrow now has a blink up, so you've got some great initiation with that Surge blink. They may go for it straight away as well. Arrow already shows up in the mid lane, finds a banner rune to boot, which is always nice. Gets his bottled up. Mitch is currently trying to bait the side of aggressive mode into that mid. But nobody is taking the bait. They realize something is wrong. We do finally get to have a look back at Thug, who does have that Mask of Madness up now. So the Omni Slash can finally kill somebody off. The question is, who do you find though? Aggressive mode, are we going to see a smoke? They're quite grouped up. Just waiting for that 15-minute bounty rune. They may find the Slider. That he is still running up the river and actually is going to be able to get away. They don't even catch him. Skylark may get a courier out of this with that illusion. No, not quite. And Khan, they just start setting up for that top tier 2 again. In fact, Arrow gets the Arena of Blood off onto Skylark, and poor Skylark just getting nothing out of this game. Does get taken down. Mid lane, they have jumped the Slider, but he's a very tanky target, and there's going to be rotations coming in to try and help him out. In fact, he just turns around. Spartan getting it stunned up and does go down as they are going to chase now for Sunlight. Wraith Fire Blast does connect Sunlight. Do you have anywhere to go? Not quite. The spear is there from Arrow. And this game is turning into a real stomp. As Khan, they're going to be able to find a Roshan out of this. Level 1 Corrosive Haze is going to be more than enough. And even by this standpoint, like, unless aggressive mode can hold off the game for another 20 minutes, maybe 20-30 minutes, I don't see them winning. It's just going to be way too difficult to come back on your junk up against a Wraith King and a Mars and a Slider. They're going to try and counter the Roshan. They've smoked up, but it's going to be very, very difficult to find them now. Do they go in? They are hanging around mid lane. Fortune's End is going to fly out. Does catch the Slaughter, but again, he's just a very tanky target right now. And Khan, I mean, they're just sitting there chilling out, happy to engage whenever. Arrow's got a double damage rune bottled up. It's got the blink ready. And they will head midders. There is going to be a bait from this Slaughter, but Arena of Blood going to be dropped on 3, and now the Soulbind. Wall has been dropped, but it's going to do nothing as Sunlight just gets bursted down. Skylark, he's been caught by the Slaughter again. He's gone. There's only 2 heroes left on the side of aggressive mode. And they do barely manage to get out with their lives intact. But it's just that easy for Khan, as we do have a 10k net worth lead at 17 minutes into this game. That is huge. And Naive's still holding the Aegis. Like, you've got to go through 3 lives of this Wraith King before you actually find a kill. He's got the Shadow Blade, going for a BKB next. And Arrow says it, let's go. Just keep going. They know they're ahead. Skylark just got to surge out of there. Don't even try and hide in the trees. They know. They'll go for that top tier 2. An aggressive mode, I highly doubt we'll even try to defend this. So Khan will claim another tier 2 tower. Immediately the rest of Khan will start searching for another target. And I wonder, like, do they try and go for an early high ground push? You've got Pipe up now, you've still got Aegis. They are going to actually TP bot to try and go after Thug and Naive. He's going to use that Shadow Blade straight off the bat, going after this Jug, but he wants to close the gap so he can't spin through the stun. In fact, never mind, Thug doesn't get the spin off anyway. He does go for it now, but it's all going to be too late. He's going to have to try and juke them out, but there's just no chance. He's caught on the tree line, stun connects, the spear from Arrow. And again, Arrow says, let's go. I couldn't agree more. There's still a T1 and T2 down at the bot lane. But for how long? Naive brings the skeletons out. Or the Wraiths, as Dota 2 likes to call it now. Mid lane. They are collapsing on Sunlight, but they don't actually make the jump. Scratch that BKB on the Wraith King, by the way. He has a Desolator up now. Khan, still smoked up, still ready to go. Naive will just use the Shadow Blade, and do they find anybody? Aggressive mode, they can't afford to take a fight right now. Naive, he'll show himself. He almost baits them in. There's no way they take this. Slaughter, smoke will be broken, Desire does spot him out, but you don't want to go right now. Stun connects, Spike Carapace will immediately be popped. They're just trying to all TP out at the same time, or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll try and turn. Remnant's there, but here comes the side of Khan looping around. They get the Meteor Hammer on the Slaughter, but he's still surviving throughout all this. He's just taking no damage. He'll walk out of there. The Soulbind's there on Sunlight with the Silence. Inkswell as well. They're all gonna die as Desire, the only one left. And they tried. They tried to kill off the Slaughter, but he has a pipe up. It's going to make it a 22 to 5, 14k net worth lead for Khan. Make it 15. They haven't even used that Aegis yet. It looks like it is going to expire very soon anyway. But Khan, they're probably just going to wait. Wait for the next Roshan, take the second Aegis, and that's when we'll start seeing the high ground pushes coming out. And aggressive, I mean, unless they get a miracle team fight, it's very hard to see them being able to catch up in this farm game. Oh, Sunlight gets stunned up. That damage from Naive. He doesn't get lucky with a crit. Now he does on a creep. But Arrow almost finds the kill with the God's Rebuke. Had Naive gotten lucky and gotten at least one crit, he would have found that kill. He won't have that problem the second time, though. He's going for an Abyssal Blade now. And Mr. Cameraman, we're looking at the last hits and denies. I think net worth may be a little more important at this point. For anyone that's not aware, I'm not controlling the camera or anything you see on the screen right now, so I'm at the whim of some other people. Spartan gonna get caught out on this Oracle. Fortune's End not really gonna save him, it doesn't seem, as the Slider is chasing. Corrosive Haze there. Naive, he's gonna have a stun, but he may not even need it, and he won't. He'll just hit him. He's critting for almost 1k. And we're only 22 minutes into the game. And he's gonna find Desire. Oof, that's a big crit. Like, was that even a crit? It had to have been, right? I just didn't see the number pop up. Bot lane, there's more action going on, Mr. Cameraman. We are looking at Sunlight, who is going to be able to run away. Phantom will follow. Khan, they'll continue to take their time. Just wait out that next Roshan. Meanwhile, Thug, he has gotten a bit of farm up. Got that Chrysalis, got a Yasha. I don't believe we've even seen an Omni Slash this game yet. Like, he hasn't had the opportunity to really get one off. And Desire actually wants to try and set up on Naive. He connects the Impale. Naive doesn't really have too many friends around, and they're actually bursting him down quite quick. Though Shadow Blade, Dust is going to be there. Now the Soulbind double silence, and here comes the Slider. The cavalry is here. Wall has been dropped, but doesn't matter as they get the stuns out. Skylark is falling very, very low. False Promise will be there in the nick of time, and in fact, Khan, they don't want to fight this. Or maybe they do. The False Promise was taken by Yamich, and it will save the Slider's life, at least for now. Stroke of Fate flying in. They found Naive again, but there's the Arena of Blood Arrow coming in to save the day. Naive clears out Thug. Skylark, pretty darn low. He'll go down as well. Desire trying to help the best he can, but all he can do is stun. They've found Sunlight as well as Desire on the Nyx Assassin. And in fact, Arrow gonna clean up, gonna get the team wipe it seems. He has Spear available and he does land it. A full team wipe coming up for Khan. That's gonna make it a 20k net worth lead. And there will be no GG call as of yet, but I have a funny feeling it probably will come soon. That was, I guess, one of the problems with the aggressive mode draft is, again, if they don't get a good start in that laning phase, they just fall apart. Like, you're so dependent on finding that early momentum. And not today. Please, for the love of God, we're not going to have this buffering problem again, are we? Oh, as you can see, the feed apparently is buffering again. Alright, well, I'm going to try and refresh, I guess. Give me 1 second. Apparently this problem just can't be fixed. I don't know if it really is fixed. It looks like we went back in time a bit, and yeah, it's still buffering. No, apparently they're at the fountain now, but it doesn't matter because we're going to buffer again. But I can see that aggressive mode is currently getting fountain dived. So there's that. They may find the Slider with this Omni Slash, and it looks like they do. Sunlight going to get speared into the statue, and there has been Omni Slash stolen by Yamich. I'm not sure what that really is going to do for him, but I guess it's still effective. There we go. There's the Omni Slash coming up from the Rubik. He is in a bit of an awkward position now, but they are going to find Skylark anyway, as we are going to see a huge Arena of Blood coming up from Arrow, and there's the GG call. 36-6, 30k net worth lead as the GG call comes out. Sunlight still trying to find Puba on the Grimstroke, but won't even find that. And that's going to be a very decisive Game 1 victory to the side of Khan. Of course, this is a best-of-3 series, so we are going to have a second game coming up very soon. I'm going to go try and test the other feeds, see if they're any smoother than this crap is. It is MLP Dota. I apologize about these issues. Again, I don't really have control over what's going on. And, well, like I said, I'm going to try and see if we have an alternative. I'll see you guys again very, very soon.